Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Grizzly K, and today we are doing a quick recap of what we've heard so far on day 2 and 3 of the Letecia Stauch trial. At this point, where I'm live right now, it's happening. It's the afternoon session happening on day 3. Tomorrow will be day 4. Okay, now I've been following along every single minute of this trial, and that's not usually me. If you guys have been here for a long time, you know. Okay, for me to follow the trial the whole way through, it's difficult sometimes. Okay, but this trial, some people find it boring. I find it incredibly interesting. And I think it's because I've done so much work as well on this case for so long. You know, we've been waiting for this trial for so long. So, for all of you who have been with me from the beginning as we've covered this case, thank you for being here. Your wish is my command. Is that how we say it? So many of you are emailing me, tweeting at me, asking me, please cover the trial. And today, when I was chatting in Law and Crime Network, right, we were there, we're all watching. Do you know how many grizzlies there are there? So many grizzlies. It's so nice to see you guys all sharing the bear emoji and everything, tagging me. And I'm like, yeah, no, we can talk about it over here in our community. So we're going to do that. Okay. So make sure you have lots of coffee and wish me luck because I've never done that before. Never streamed a trial before. Wish me luck. Okay. So the next 6 to 8 weeks of our life is sorted. Dave, thank you so much. Thank you, G, and all your work. Thank you so much. So I'm quickly going to give you a recap from my little work, play, slay notebook that one of the Grizzlies sent me when I still had a P.O. box before I shut it down because, damn, in this country, it's very expensive. Okay, I just want to see. Someone says, is there buffering? Can you all hear me properly? And can you all see me properly and everything? Okay. So... Thank you. Someone says, did you see here? Wait, I missed it there. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Hope and fear. I've been following too. Stopped it to watch you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to follow it. Letecia Stauch's trial. Letecia Stauch, so good question. It's a step monster that is on trial she's been charged with murder of a 11-year-old boy, Gannon Stauch. Okay, this happened in Colorado in 2020. January 27, 2020. I have a full playlist on this case. There's so much that you can catch up on there if you haven't yet. I will pin it afterwards in the comments here as well. But man, like this case, it can get me snarky. You guys are right. So is that a good enough of a recap for you guys? Just to know what exactly happened and where and when? Okay, January 27, 2020. Stepmother is accused of murdering her stepson, Gannon Stauch, while her husband was away. He worked for the National Guard, and he was away on a trip, deployed. And it's just so hectic what happened because he was stabbed and shot, and his body was put in a car, moved to the airport, then moved around in Douglas County, moved a lot. That's so scary. Okay. And then eventually she took a road trip. Letecia's like, ooh, time for a road trip. And she took a road trip to Florida, where we just were in the last stream, guys. Not that area, but Florida. She drove to Florida with his body in a suitcase and then threw it off a bridge there, 3 miles from where she was staying in a hotel with her daughter, who was 17 years old at the time. Okay. Objection case like, why does she look like the Grudge? Right? For some of you are saying buffering, I don't know why it's buffering on your side. Make sure that you refresh, toggle, make sure you use that setting switch and put the highest setting possible. That would be great. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm watching the stream from the court. So let me just quickly recap you of what happened so far today, right? So actually, yesterday was day 2. They basically said, okay, Al Stauch, Gannon's dad and Letecia's husband, he was on the stand and he said that he met Letecia when his kids were 5 and 2. So, you know, Gannon at the time that he was murdered was 11. So he'd been with her for quite some time. And then he said on June 9th, 2016, he was commissioned to the National Guard. Letecia then claimed that people that worked with him, like his captain and his colonel, were sexually harassing her. Like, she takes what sounds like abandonment issues and then she makes it huge. Like, okay, I don't want you to be so far away from me or work there. So you know what? Your captain and colonel, yep, they're sexually harassing me. Indeed. So he's like, what? But she filed a formal complaint and eventually he was moved. He was moved units or duty stations, as they call it. He was then transferred from Alaska because she filed these sexual harassment charges. Now, I'm eye rolling. Normally, as we say, we normally believe the victim, especially with sexual harassment. I've been through it myself. I was an airline pilot for 9 years and I went through a lot of that sexual assault and harassment. So, normally, we wouldn't be eye rolling this, but like if you know Letecia at all, are you going to eye roll that? Then you understand. If you heard those calls yesterday and today, you know why we eye rolling. Oh my word. Okay. So this led to L. Stauch transferring from Alaska. I'm just quickly updating you, then we're going to get back to that, okay? Letecia sent a text and an ultrasound to L, then saying, you know what? I'm pregnant with twins. And she never was. She never was, okay? She visited Alaska in December 2018. She didn't really like it, and he moved in February 2019. I think he moved away from Alaska because she didn't like it. So she was like sexual harassment or twins, which are we going with, right? Okay. So Letecia is the one who found the house, 6627 Mandan Drive, Colorado, which is where Gannon was murdered. She's the one that found it, but then she claimed, you know what? I've been burgled twice. So she made up burglary stories there as well. She's an attention seeker and a liar, from what we can see. I know she's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, but really, as we saw the opening statement, which is snark-worthy by itself, that lawyer, he's just like, they're going for the not guilty by reason of insanity. So it seems to me like everyone in the room knows she did it, but they're trying to prove she was insane when she did it. You know what I mean? Welcome to membership. And Sarah says she's a 101 narcissist. I know, right? Oh, my word. Okay, that's so nice. Myrna's first time here watching me live. Thank you for what you do. I'm in California and this is my first time watching you live. That's awesome. Okay, welcome. So maybe we'll get some new Grizzlies in here as well, seeing as this is a new era for Grizzly True Crime, streaming a trial. Who would have ever thought? Okay, so she filed 2 burglary complaints, and Letecia was working at a school. I'm still not 100% sure exactly what her job title was. I think it was like a teacher's aide, right? But she thought she was way more educated than the principal. Everywhere she goes, she's just like way smarter than everyone. Okay. Okay, then. Right. So anyway, she then said she, hates the job, wants to be a flight attendant, and she wanted to be a flight attendant at Spirit Airlines. Now that reminds me of Chandler Halderson when he was like, I'm going to work for SpaceX. It sounds like that because she was sort of implying she's already doing interviews and doing all the things. I don't know about that. Now, her role model. What's her role model? Who's her role model? Letecia, she wants to live just like Kim Kardashian, okay? She's also going to dress her hubby in outfits, okay? And control everything, but like Kim, she wants to be like Kim Kardashian. I think Kim Kardashian, if she's hearing that, she'll be like, what? No, like imagine it, like being in the public eye, okay? I mean, I'm in the public eye now. And then if you have like a twisted person that's like, I did this for you, or I want to be just like you, like, no. Don't associate, keep my name out of your mouth, you know what I mean? Anyway, she wants to be like Kim Kardashian. When they asked Al Stauch if he recognized the suitcase that was found in Florida, that was sad to hear. He did recognize the suitcase. It was from the house. She put Gannon in the suitcase with a pillow, okay? Yes, Stefan. SpaceX Chazzy boy. Yeah, if you guys missed the Chandler Halderson, that's a time where I also watched the entire trial. I've actually watched a lot of trials. I just never streamed the whole trial. Oh my word. And then broke down all the summaries and everything. So we'll still summarize and things like this. We're going to talk about it, okay? But man, I want to watch this trial with you. So I won't be much longer on this recap. But anyway, they say that the picture that Letecia took of Gannon asleep, Al said that's not his blanket. And it's not typically on his bed like that. Yes, lots of eye rolls, VMath, lots of eye rolls. So that was eerie to hear because he must have been like, when he saw that picture, like, what is this? Why is she taking... And that is so scary to think of her taking a picture of Gannon sleeping, especially after all the things we're learning, because she's talking about his arms being burnt and like bubbling and all kinds of weird stuff that just makes me really, really worried. Okay. I don't know what on earth all she did to him, but it's sounding scary. And I'm sure throughout this trial, we're going to have some scary moments together. So Al and the FBI work together the FBI was right there guiding him of like what to ask her and everything. So he would have phone calls with Letecia, and you know that is what we listened to today. There was a few. It started with a 37-minute one, and yesterday, oh my word, you guys, if you listened to it, if you were there with me on Law and Crime Network, weren't your eardrums bleeding? It was painful, so painful to listen to those calls. If you haven't yet, go check it out. But like, oh man, the way she lies, the way she deflects. She's like a spider spinning a web. In South Africa, we call them chojos. You know, when it's a bunch of insects, it's called a jojo. She puts chojos in everyone's brain. Okay. She's like weaving a web and just like deflect, deflect, distract, distract. By the end of it, after 5 minutes, you're already like so tired, your brain like conks out. I literally needed 2 power naps today after listening to that. Literally 2. Okay. Normally I take 1 nap. I was like, I can't anymore. I can't. Because when she's talking to Al, she's trying to explain, well, where's Gannon? What happened to Gannon? Oh my word, you guys. It goes round and round, and the details and just all the lies and everything. It's just a lot. Okay. So if you haven't heard that yet, check it out. So the teacher said in a text to Al that Gannon has blood coming out of his butthole. That's literally how she said it. What? Really worry about what she did to him. She said that Gannon lit a candle because of smell from poop. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yada yada. VMAT. If I hear yada 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 one more time, when Letecia is really lying, she gets into a zone of just lying, 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 lying. Then she said yada yada yada, and she says it for the weirdest things. Like I'm gonna get to it now. Let's just quickly see because I wrote this down. It will be like, yeah, Gannon was scared of me, yada yada yada, or he was screaming and crying, yada yada. I'm like, what? Whew. Okay, yeah, yeah. Rich is like nap with nature sounds in the background. Yes, always. January 26th, Letecia said. Wait, what did I write here? Oh, January 26th. That was the day before Gannon was murdered. Letecia said she went on a hike and that Gannon pooped his pants. She's very busy with humiliating him. Very busy with poop and smell of poop and poop his pants and all that. And I'm like, why? Letecia. Hope she poops her pants at this point, right? Welcome to all the new members. For members, make sure you check out the community tab because we have some member streams sometime and then it's not censored and we get real snarky. This is layer 1. Okay, so we'll have one soon again. So she told Al about an intruder. Okay. And she told him as well. So Eduardo, we all know the Eduardo story if you follow the case with me. Eduardo today became Quincy Brown as well. We know that from the probable cause affidavit. But literally, she's like, she thought this no. She lied that this intruder Eduardo came in. It's this whole story. And later this became Quincy Brown, a wanted man. And while he's doing all these things to her, including essay and all this, and Gannon's jumping on his back, and this whole story she makes up that wouldn't even sell on Amazon as a Kindle short read, okay? My word, okay? But she says then a little business card slipped out of Quincy Brown's pocket. That's how she saw his name. She knows it's Quincy Brown that attacked her that day. It's terrible. But she said that when Al asked, well, what about all the blood? What about, Gannon hurting his foot or all the blood or whatever? And then she says, no, she got really scared and cleaned it all up. So you see, she tells half truths in between, right? Yeah, this is the problem. Kathleen says, I wonder if she wasn't poisoning him or giving him laxatives on purpose. I really think she was because she talks about giving him Miralax, but she talks so much about him pooping his pants and stuff. It's so scary. Okay. She also said that she's going around asking people if she can use their phone, if she can sit in their car. And I don't know, I think it's because, investigators took her phone. So she says they could be really bad killers or something. And here I am asking them, can I use your phone? No. That's you, allegedly accused. That's you. She's like trying to make Al feel bad that she has to like walk around asking people if she can use their phone because they could be really bad killers. Says an alleged killer, an accused killer. Okay. She said that Gannon had burns across his arms. Wow. That is so scary. And she said, he's screaming, he's crying, whatever. And then she says okay, so this whole fire story. I'm just telling you some little updates. They will go there. There's a fire story. The candle and fire and smoke, and the smoke was scarier than the fire. So she packed all the kids in the car, as in Gannon and his sister, and then drove around the block. Drove around the block once, but says that Gannon's arms were burnt, okay? That he had bubbly spots on both arms. And then she said, yada, yada, yada. Wow. And she said he was more scared of anything. That really got me because she said twice. In the calls I heard today, she said at least twice how scared Gannon was of her and of the situation. And knowing that she's the one charged with murdering him, that's pretty scary, right? She said he had Miralax on Saturday. All right. So that would be the day before 2 days before he was murdered. So she already started on Saturday. He had Miralax on Saturday. That's the day they supposedly went hiking, right? But yeah, then she's complaining about him pooping his pants. Well, you're giving him a whole bunch of laxatives. The hell? And she said, when Al asked, well, what do you do with the bubbles on his arm? Like my kids, if they he says, I'm not saying it about, I don't have kids, okay? He says, my kids, like if they like have a little scratch or something, they want a band-aid. So what do you mean like bubbling on his arms? And she's like, oh no, he didn't seem bothered by it or hurt or whatever, but I did put aloe on his arms. And she says green aloe. Now, I don't know. Do you get any other color aloe? I was like, what is it going to be, blue or purple aloe? She's like, the green aloe, because she always has to add more details to convince people of her story, right? She said that Gannon then started to peel it. And that was so, so terrible. Because I don't even know what's true or what's not, but she's saying that there's bubbles on his arms from being burnt from the candle, and that he was then starting to peel that. Oh my word. I don't believe her. The story she's saying it's very scary to think, what did she do to him? You know what I mean? She said, I swore to Jesus that I told detectives this. I'm like, never say that again, lady. She was talking about riding around Douglas County. She said, I went to, and then she corrected herself and said, we drove to Douglas County. We're just driving around, getting lost. And then she said it was all mountainy and dark. Okay, but I don't mean dark because, it was in the daytime. So she couldn't even keep her own story straight. We know she went there in the daytime and at night. So she messed up there. You know what I mean? She also said they're barking up the wrong effing tree by searching in Douglas County. And you know what? They weren't. You know why? Because they found a plank there with blood on it, Gannon's blood. Okay. But she'd already moved the body again. And then she'd discarded of his body in Florida in a suitcase, chucked it off a bridge. Oh my word. So she's like, they're barking up the wrong effing tree. And she also texted about Kobe Bryant's death to Al, which is classic deflection. Like, let's talk about some other death, right? Let's talk about something else. Okay. Interesting. So Shirley says Miralax doesn't cause the runs. Sorry, disgusting. What does it do? What does it do? Wait, let's look. I mean, I just Miralax. I'm like, okay, Miralax is laxative, right? Miralax, gentle relief from constipation. Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. All right, so now let's see. Let's put this on now. Now we caught up, okay?
Clear here, but it was very clear on the latch thing. Is there a marina or settlement or something like that there?
It is a marina, sir. I was unclear where you were talking about that.
So welcome
sorry.
to day 3
why I
afternoon session
approached.
of this trial. We'll carry on from here, okay?
Is that a permanent marina where people keep their boats all the time?
Yes, sir. It's just a small tributary that runs back up. I don't believe it goes to the north just a little bit. There's a little marina on that side of the bridge as well. There's actually a marina on both sides, the north and south side of the bridge.
So just on the other side of the bridge from where the suitcase was found, there's settlement. There's, 2 marinas. There's stuff going on, presumably lights and civilization, for lack of a better word.
I'm sure the marina's lit up at night. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you had mentioned the suitcase was very heavy and seemed waterlogged. This date back in March of 2020, I think March 17th of 2020, you testified to. Had there been flooding under the bridge in the weeks preceding the discovery of the suitcase?
I'm not for sure, sir.
Not for sure. Okay. Just a second, Your Honor.
All right.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Redirect.
No, thanks, Sean.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Mr. Ponder? All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, just
And I
quickly,
think at
Mr.
this point
Ponder
in time,
here
ladies and
is a
gentlemen, we're gonna
bridge
take,
inspector from
an
the Florida
afternoon
Department
break.
of Transportation.
So if I can have
And he
everyone
shared the
back in
moment
the
that he
jury
found the
room and
suitcase
ready to
which
go
contained the
at,
body
say,
of Gannon.
3:10, we
Oh
should be able
man,
to
that is
start on
just
time
terrible.
at
So
that
that's who
point.
just
All
spoke
rise
now.
for the
So now we're
jury,
gonna.
please.
Sorry, that's what I'm looking at, like who exactly is on the stand. So it was Macon Ponder, Mr. Ponder. Okay, just see what they're doing here. And while they're doing that, let's see how we can play with. Oh, interesting. Okay, so who was just on the stand? If you guys missed it, Macon Ponder, a bridge inspector for the Florida Department of
You may all be seated. The
Transportation.
record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. Is there anything we need to take up before our next witness, prosecution,
Nothing for the people, Your Honor.
defense?
Nothing.
Okay, correct. We'll be back at 3:10.
What time, Your Honor? I have to run to DST.
3:10?
3:10. Okay, thanks.
Oh, we just joined for a break. Denver. Let's just quickly look Denver time now. Let's say 3:10, right? So now it's 2:53. So they're coming back in about 15 minutes, okay? Welcome to membership.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, real yellow isn't green, it's white. Good point, good point. Okay. So stand by, everyone. I just want to see what else we can get quickly. Macon Ponder. I want to see one thing quickly. Hold on one second. There's one lady that's tweeting a lot. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. It's going to be nice to be together. Let's do it like, how do we? I don't know how to do this. Stack. Ooh, okay. I'm just playing around now while we're doing this. So we could see. So it was grid. Okay, so we've got grid, we've got stack. Very nice. And we've got side by side. Oh yeah, this case is hard for me too. Donna Adams says, this one is so hard for me. It breaks my heart, sweet Gannon. I'm sorry, so sorry. I wish the crime people commit be done to them. Mhm. Okay, hold on one second. I just want to see, how do I... Ooh, switch audio. I just want to see if I can show you something else quickly. Hold on one second. Okay, let's leave the webinar for now. Let's go here. I want to show you something like this. Okay, so Sweden Soldier says, question, how do I know what day to update my membership? I don't know. I think YouTube should remind you if you just check under your membership links there. Let's just quickly go like this. I know, right? The poor man who found the body in the suitcase. Terrible, terrible. The Angel Rock says, I found that interesting that the judge asked if the jurors had any questions before the witness left the stand. Right? And thank you, Lottie Tottie says, I love your streams. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah, we're going to find that now. So hold on one second. I just want to see what the guy was.
The abuse, you're back to it for the handle. It's a little hard. A snooper or an
Sorry, I'm trying to find the exact spot where that guy was.
Emotional and difficult, so I'm going to try to keep.
Could be here. If so, shout out to MB Incorporated. He did say that if I need to, I could stream here. I'm going to send him a Twitter message now just to tell him. So I'm just going to look here. Here's Letecia, by the way. And then we'll go back, okay? Texas State of Mind. He's like, so proud of you for live streaming this case. I would rather listen to you with the Grizzlies than anywhere else. You are the most professional and most empathetic towards victims and their families. Great job, great one. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for always spoiling me. I really appreciate it, Texas State of Mind. So, and for encouraging me. Got a lot of encouragement, okay? So in this state, someone just told me the jury are able to ask questions. Okay, so let's see if I'm in the right place here, and let's play it a little bit faster if we can. That's how I watch trials.
My question's somewhat brief. If at any time you don't understand any of my questions, just ask me to repeat them. A lot of my questions will be kind of yes or no answers. And if there's anything that you think you need to elaborate on, once I'm done, Mr. Allen's going to be able to get up and ask you what's called redirect. And so be able to anything that you think needs to be added on or clarified, Mr. Allen will have the opportunity to do that. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Okay.
I want to kind of go back. I'm going to do this somewhat chronologically. I'm going to go back to 2014 when you first met Ms. Stauch. And at that point in time, you were going through a divorce, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that it had kind of been initiated, but
That's not it. Okay,
final.
hold on.
What is there to hide from? Why would you not go down there? What is
I want to find Mr. Macon. Is it Macon?
keeping you, the defendant, from coming down there?
Okay. And did that appear in your mind to be a conscious decision the defendant was making to resist going to the sheriff's office and give an interview?
Absolutely.
You talked about getting text messages and phone calls during this time that these recorded phone calls were happening.
Yes, sir.
Did the defendant change the
West back to where we started, and that's when we get into the truck and start our under bridge inspection.
And here we go. Here we go.
2020,
Sorry about that, guys.
Did you locate something? Did you locate a suitcase underneath the bridge?
Yes, sir. During that inspection, the particular bridge that we were inspecting requires
I have it on 1.25 speed, okay? Because they're going to come back in the next 10 minutes. So I want to make sure that we hear as much as possible from Mr. Ponder, Macon Ponder, the guy who found the suitcase that had Gannon's body in.
an underbridge inspection machine. The particular machine allows us to gain access to the underside of the bridge due to the height and over water. As we were inspecting the underside of the bridge and we're coming to the end of it, my partner and I that were in the basket noticed a suitcase towards the end of the bridge, close to, it's kind of laying in a marshy area and a little bit of woods right next to the edge of the bridge. And we just noticed it down there. It was a point of interest when we got down there. We didn't look at it then. We just made a note to come back to it later on.
And who was your partner? What was his name?
Matthew Goins.
And so when you first noticed this suitcase, where are you and Mr. Goins at?
When we first noticed it, the backup prior before getting into the piece of equipment, we also walk across the deck and take soundings at each pier on both sides of the bridge, and that gives us any indication of any settlement or anything that might be failing on the bridge. And that requires dropping down a measuring tape essentially with a weight on it and measuring the height up to the edge of the bridge to the
For you guys who, like Noni says, I listened to this already. I can't. I'll be back at 3:15. No problem. Come back. Okay, at 3:15. They actually said 3:10. They'll be back. We're just quickly trying to get the gist because while we were all talking, recapping, me talking and recapping, we missed this. Okay.
the top of the barrier wall. And when we looked over, the suitcase was right next to the edge of a bent where we were taking the measurement. Had it been in the middle of a bent or in the middle of a span, we may have not even noticed it. But because of its location, it was right next to where we dropped our profile tape, is what we call it, to take the measurement. We immediately saw it as soon as we dropped it down.
And so I'm not a Navy guy. When you say deck, are you talking about the road area of the bridge where the vehicles go?
Yes, sir. That's what we call the deck. We take our measurements at the top of the barrier wall. Anybody that's driven over a bridge, the concrete walls on the outside is where we take our measurements from.
And so are you and Mr. Goins looking over the edge of the bridge and you see a suitcase directly down below?
Yes, sir.
What side of the bridge are you on, the eastbound lanes or the westbound lanes?
We're on the eastbound lane and we were on the east or the right side of the structure.
And so you note that there's a suitcase there, but then you go on with the inspection.
Yes, sir.
And tell us about that. Do you go all the way across the bridge and then work your way back, or how does that work?
Well, generally when we're taking a profile, it's we'll start at what we call the near end, which for our reference is we work from west to east or south and north. In this case, we were working west to east. We started on the right side of the bridge heading east. When we finish that profile, then yes, we do turn back around and we work from east to west back to where we started. And that's when we get into the truck and start our under bridge inspection.
And when you start your underbridge inspection, is that when you get back to the area where the suitcase is?
It wasn't for, no, sir, it wasn't for probably roughly an hour, hour and a half later, maybe even a little bit longer, because when we started the under inspection, we start back at the beginning of the bridge. And where we found the suitcase was almost at the very end of the bridge.
And this bridge goes east and west, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you're starting the undercarriage portion on the east side, working your way west, is that right?
No, sir. We're starting on the, the west end, working towards the east.
Okay. And so what happens when you get back to that area where the suitcase is?
Because of the profile and the, as the bridge, there's the hump in the bridge. When we got towards the end of the structure, the bridge starts to become lower, closer to the ground. And at that point, we didn't need the truck anymore. So we were able to lower the basket down to the ground line and get out, and was going to finish our inspection from there. And that's when we lowered down to the ground, we've remembered that we had seen the suitcase. We finished up our inspection and then went back to the suitcase.
And why did you go back to the suitcase?
Pure curiosity.
Okay. And again, is Mr. Goings with you at this point in time as well?
Yes, sir.
So what happens when you get back to the suitcase?
We got back to the suitcase, and where it was lying kind of an odd angle, but the handle was towards the underside of the bridge. So I reached out for the handle and immediately noticed it was very, very heavy. And I looked back and remember telling Matt, I said, I don't know what's in this. I said, but it's heavy. I said, and where it was at, it had possibility of being waterlogged. We didn't know if there was clothing or something in it. We just know.
That must be so scary to find, you guys. Emily Kate says, is it usual for the judge to ask the jury if they have any questions? Apparently not, but apparently in this state it is. It's allowed, it's usual. Here's MB Incorporated, guys. He's a good friend that sends me really good info, sometimes documents, case suggestions, links and things. So go subscribe over there to MB Inc. He's also streaming the trial. And thank you for being here. You say they are on afternoon recess till 10 past the hour. Thank you so much. I will be back to the live stream 10 past the hour. For now, we're watching your stream back play. So thank you so much that we can do that. What else did I want to tell you? We've done map time, you guys. So if you want to see the map time in this case, it's on the playlist. Okay, so check out the playlist if you want to know where this Escambia River Bridge is and where the hotel was, where Letecia was staying, and all that kind of stuff.
Noticed that whatever it was probably waterlogged and saturated, just due to how heavy it was.
And I imagine you get a lot of rain in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Do you get a lot of rain in the months of February and March?
Triggered
We
by
can.
Nicholas.
March normally is fairly rainy season, but again, where the suitcase was really right at the edge of the marsh, and depending on tide, you don't necessarily have to have a lot of rain for that area to get be influenced by tide.
Okay. So you, Mr. Goings, get up to the suitcase. You said it appeared to be heavy. What happened after that?
Because of where it was at, it was very, very marshy and muddy. We, of course, didn't know what was in it, but underneath the bridge where it was at was very flat and sandy. And we kind of like made a decision, let's pull it out of the mud and pull it underneath the bridge where it was flat and sandy, and whatever it was in it, we'll just open it there rather than in the muddy marsh, just sticks and a lot of sticks and stuff there. So we pulled it underneath the bridge.
And what did you open it?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that.
Oh, no.
I was the first one to unzip it. And before we opened it, as soon as we unzipped it, we immediately noticed the smell. That's what hit us first. I remember looking up at Matt, who's quite a bit taller than me. And I said, Matt, I think there's something.
Okay, hold on. On this channel, we have this thing called a trigger bunny, okay? So when things are getting rough, when we can feel, oh man, this information is going to be so bad. Look at Letecia's face in the corner there. We show the trigger bunny, okay? Just so you know, it's going to be distressing content. Of course, it is a true crime channel. This content is for adults only, but here and there, man, let's hear what they got to say.
Dead in here. And unfortunately, we do come across sometimes somebody will throw out a litter of puppies or something in a bag, and that's not uncommon. And it smelled, but it was so strong. It was different that day. So I didn't initially open it, and we kind of thought about what we were going to do first. When we finally went ahead and unzipped the rest of it, the smell was so overpowering. We kind of took a step back, and the first thing I remember seeing was just 2 little feet, and that had little football socks on them. The best I remember, I remember there being little socks on them. And before anything else happened, we couldn't really make out what it was. Matt dumped the suitcase over, and of course, we initially immediately knew it was a body. But after looking at it, it was we couldn't tell male or female, boy or girl. We didn't know. A lot of black hair. And then I turned away.
What was the size of the suitcase? Do you remember?
Roughly the size of a checked bag. It wouldn't have been, it was too big to be a carry-on, but roughly the size of an older checked bag suitcase.
And was there anything else in the suitcase besides the body?
Lots of blankets. There may have been a pillow or something. I just remember a lot of bedding in there and blankets. It was kind of the body was in a fetal position and partially wrapped up, so we couldn't tell a whole lot until we dumped it out. And again, I turned my head,
So what did you do after that?
walked away. I immediately said we went ahead and called the inspection right there. I didn't have my cell phone with me. Matt did at the time. He's a volunteer firefighter and he's dealt with some of this stuff. And I was very thankful to have him there. We immediately dialed 911 and got them on their way. And then I walked up back to the top of the bridge and talked to our truck operator and told him kind of what was going on, that, they were shutting it down. And then just waited for authorities to get there.
Okay. And did members of the Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office eventually show up?
Yes, sir.
And did they interview you and Mr. Goins and process that scene as it was theirs?
Yes, sir.
After we talked on the phone a few weeks ago, did you get an email from me of a Google Earth image of this bridge we've been talking about?
Yes, sir.
And did you yourself mark a red arrow on that Google image as to where the body was found back on March 17th, 2020?
Yes, sir.
If I may approach the witness, Your Honor.
Me?
Mr. Ponder, I'm going to show you People's Exhibit 60 and 69.
We have 2 minutes
61 and
left
62
before we
are
switch to the live court feed.
See that?
Yeah, this is heartbreaking.
Mr. Ponder,
Yes,
if
sir.
you were
Yeah.
looking for a drink of water, there's a water pitcher right there and some cups if you would like some. Be careful when you take the lid off, it comes out fast.
I also want to know, Pernille, how is she allowed to sit tucked in the corner
You
like
could just
that?
take a moment to look at those photographs and then I'll ask you some questions about them.
I'm going to have to stop there because we're going to have to switch back to the live feed now, you guys. Is that okay? Right? Because this, you can go to MB Inc. if you want to watch it there and just at 1.5 speed, then come back. That's a good idea for now because I'm streaming with you guys. That's normally what I would do. I would watch everything at 1.5 or 2 times speed. But because I want to show you guys the live courtroom feed, let me go like this and join the webinar again. Okay, so we're going to watch it live because they're coming back now at 10 past is what they said. Okay, open WebEx. Here we go. And we're back.
And then you have the tripping hazard. So we're not going to do that.
I think I missed
All
it.
rise for the jury, please.
Tell me again, Suzanne. Yes, Ben. It's a new era in Grizzly land.
Thank you. May all be seated. Court will recall 20 CR 1358, People versus Letecia Stauch record should reflect the jury has returned to the courtroom. Prosecution, call your next witness, please.
Thanks, Judge. We would call Jason Yoder to the stand.
Jason Yoder.
Mr. Yoder, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
So nice being with all of you. Thank you for being here. Please like the video.
In
Oh.
prosecution, it looks like there are still some exhibits on the witness stand. I didn't know if you were planning on using
They're the
them.
ones for him, Your Honor.
Okay, all right.
Thanks, Judge. Good afternoon, Mr. Yoder. How you doing?
All right, sir.
Could you please state your name and spell your last for the record?
Jason Yoder, Yoder.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a criminal investigator
For what
with
agency?
the Escambia County Sheriff's Office currently.
And where is the
Sorry.
Escambia County?
It's borders Florida and Alabama line.
Florida?
It's in Alabama, but it borders the Florida line.
So parts of Florida in it, parts of Alabama?
Yes, it's just kind of split.
All right, that's interesting. Florida and Alabama must get along quite well to share a county like
Well, sometimes.
that. What was your occupation back in March of 2020?
I was a major crimes detective with the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office
And is that the county right across the river from Escambia County?
from Escambia, Florida. Yes, sir.
And so does the Escambia Bridge kind of connect those two counties?
Yes, sir, it does.
What was your role back on March 17th of 2020 when you were with the Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office?
I was a major crimes detective, part of our division.
And did you get called out during that day on March 17, 2020 to the Escambia Bridge?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what was the basis for your call out?
Bridge inspectors with the Florida Department of Transportation uncovered a body out of a suitcase underneath the bridge.
And what kind of details did you get before you, I'm assuming you eventually went out to that bridge?
Yes, sir.
What details did you get prior to going out to the bridge?
Not a lot. It's just the bridge workers had opened a suitcase and found what they believed to be a body inside the suitcase.
And were you assigned to be the lead detective in that investigation?
Yes, sir.
What did you do when you got out to the bridge?
Called our crime scene unit. Our crime scene unit began to process the scene. I observed them do their thing, coordinated with other detectives doing different interviews.
When you got out to the bridge, did you observe a body?
Yes, sir.
Please describe what you saw when you got out there.
When I arrived, there was a suitcase on the ground, opened, what appeared to be a human body, like it was rolled out of the suitcase, covered with bedding, and a pillow was inside it as well.
Terrible.
And were members of your agency interviewing these bridge inspectors who had found the suitcase and the body?
Yes, sir.
And what kind of information did you have going into that?
Just that they were doing a routine check of the bridge. They discovered a suitcase in the wood line, drug it up under the bridge, opened it, and discovered the body inside the suitcase.
And did they point out the location where the suitcase was when they first saw it?
Yes, sir.
And did members of your sheriff department take photographs of those areas?
Yes, sir, they did.
And when you got there, could you see an impression in the marsh area where the suitcase may have been for a period of time?
Yes, sir.
And was it consistent with the size and shape of the suitcase as you saw it?
Yes, sir.
And in relation to the bridge, where was this indentation where the suitcase was at, where the bridge inspectors had found it?
I don't really know exactly how far, but it was off in the wood line away from the bridge.
To your left, there's People's Exhibit 61, which is on the ESO there. It's actually not those photographs in front of you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just right here. Look.
Well, there you go. Sorry.
You see that red arrow right there?
Yes, sir.
Is that the general area of where this indentation was in the marshy area where the bridge inspector said the suitcase was found?
Yes, sir.
And are those the eastbound or westbound lanes?
This lane here is eastbound.
And so the river we see there, would that be west of that location?
Yes, sir.
And is the city of Pensacola on the other side of that river on the west side?
Yes, sir.
And are you familiar with that area?
I am.
Are you familiar with the Candlewood Suites Hotel that's in Pensacola?
I know about where it's at. I'm not sure exactly where it's at.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as People's Exhibit 221. And ask if you recognize it. Let's hold it.
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a layover map, the river, Highway 90. I believe that's scenic highway that runs down with the hotel there, ported out.
Is that the Candlewood Suites Hotel that I alluded to?
Yes, sir.
And does it also have a red dot as to where the suitcase was located?
Yes, sir.
And does it accurately depict that area as it looked back in March of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 221.
221 will be admitted.
Place this up on the ESO and ask you a couple questions about it. Drop the other one first. And there's a pointer just behind it. See that?
Sir.
If you go ahead and point out where the bridge is and the indicator where the suitcase was found. And the general area of the city of Pensacola.
Parts really after the bridge. Parts of it.
And the Candlewood Suites Hotel.
Yes, sir. It's all Pensacola city limits.
And is there a direct route to that bridge from the Candlewood Suites Hotel?
Yes, sir. Come down Highway 90, and off of Scenic Highway, I believe that's what that route. Take you right to it.
You got to speak a little louder. I'm sorry, Mr. Yoder.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Highway 90.
Uh-huh.
And I believe this is going to be Scenic Highway, if I'm not mistaken, and Scenic Highway should run to the hotel.
May I approach again, Your Honor? Just
You may.
Did you make any attempts to identify the body of the young boy that was found in the suitcase?
After we left the scene, yes, sir.
What did you do?
After we left, we went back to our office, started doing a regional and state search for missing children. Never found anything statewide or region-wide. One of the people in our office brought a flyer to my attention from Colorado. He had some of the same features such as dental features, height, weight, seemed to be pretty close, but we didn't have anything confirmed at that time.
So you had a missing persons flyer? Is that what you're?
Yes, sir.
And was this in some sort of database or?
From the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
And at that time, did you know this was a child that was found in the suitcase?
Yes, we had a pretty good idea it was a child. We didn't know for certain, but it was pretty good indication.
And what was that based on?
Clothing, size.
And was there anything particular with this particular child that had you look at the missing persons database, and particularly the information you talked about from Colorado?
As far as features on,
Yes.
okay, so the thing that stuck out to us was dental features mostly. I
Okay.
had two large front teeth and a rather large gap between those two front teeth.
And did you make efforts to contact anyone in Colorado with regards to that?
The following day we did.
Tell us about that.
We attended the autopsy on the following day. I took the flyer with me with the photo of Gannon on it. Autopsy personnel cleaned the body. They cleaned his clothes off, cleaned him up real good. It started becoming a little bit more noticeable that this might be this child.
Okay. And were you aware whether or not they eventually were able to positively identify this body as Gannon Stauch?
Yes, sir.
There's a series of photographs there in front of you. It's People's Exhibit 70 through 76. If you could take a moment and look at those for me. And we'll start with People's Exhibit 70. Do you recognize that photograph?
Yes, sir.
What is that photograph of?
It's a photo, Lee, I think it's taken from the ground to the top of the bridge.
And does that photograph show the looking from the general area where the suitcase was discovered from the bridge workers up to where the bridge is,
Yes, sir.
overlooking the barrier?
Yes, sir.
And does that accurately depict that area as it looked back on March 17, 2020?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 70.
Exhibit 70 will be admitted. Go ahead.
What do we see in People's Exhibit 71?
This is the bedding that was located in the suitcase along with the body of Gannon.
And does that look, or does it accurately depict what you saw out at the scene on March 17, 2020, when you got out to the scene and the body of Gannon Stauch was there next to the suitcase?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 71.
Object. 71 will be admitted. Go ahead.
What is People's Exhibit 72?
If you see in the corner, you guys.
This is the flyer that was brought to my attention.
Okay. And does that accurately depict the flyer as you saw it back on March 17, 2020, when you were looking in the database or trying to discover who the body was at that point?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 72.
Exhibit 72 will be admitted.
Were you also present at autopsy on March 18, 2020, when the blankets and pillow were photographed from the suitcase that was recovered from the bridge?
Yes, sir.
And I'll start with People's Exhibit 73. What is People's Exhibit 73?
This is part of the bedding and the blanket that was found inside the suitcase.
74?
Another piece of bedding that was also located in the suitcase.
And 75?
This was the pillow that was located inside the suitcase.
And 76?
Another blanket that was located inside the suitcase.
And does People's Exhibit 73 through 76, do they accurately depict those items as they looked on March 18, 2020 at autopsy?
Yes, sir.
Move to admit People's Exhibit 73 through 76.
Objection. Exhibit 73, 74, 75, and 76 will be admitted.
Okay, if we can start with People's Exhibit 70, request to publish. We see People's Exhibit 70 there? I'm going to place 61 back up on the ESO. In People's Exhibit 70, and red arrow we see on People's Exhibit 61, would this be looking directly up at the bridge from where the suitcase was discovered?
Yes, sir.
And is that the barrier we're talking about that kind of protects the side of the bridge there?
Yes, sir.
From what we see here, would it be consistent with a suitcase coming over the side of that bridge where the suitcase ended up?
Yes, sir.
We can go, we're going to go to People's Exhibit 72 now. I'm sorry, 71. What do we see in People's Exhibit 71?
The bedding and the body that was located inside the suitcase.
And is that the Gannon Stauch that you referred to earlier?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk about the clothes that he has on. Were those clothes retrieved at autopsy?
Yes, sir.
And are those, what are those? The pants? Let's start with.
Oh, they look like kind of like jogging pants. It's like an athletic top and some socks with footballs on them.
And the jogging pants that you referred to, do they have a stripe that goes down the side of them?
Yes, sir.
And is this the bedding that you referred to that was also in the suitcase?
Yes, sir, it is.
If we can go to People's Exhibit 72, please. What do we see in People's Exhibit 72?
This is the flyer that was brought to my attention in an attempt to identify this body that we had.
And you made reference to dental observations.
Yes, sir.
Could you talk about that?
A noticeable gap in a rather large two front teeth They're moving these pictures matched up with this, with the body that we had under the bridge.
And you talked about contacting people in Colorado. Do you contact people with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
Yes, sir. It was the sheriff's office.
And did you let them know that you found a body out in Florida on March 17th?
Yes, sir. We explained to them, kind of described what we found. Like the blankets and the body and stuff like that. Thought this might be Gannon. And then we went from there.
And then is that when efforts were made to positively identify him?
Yes, sir.
We can go to People's Exhibit 73, please. What do we see in People's Exhibit 73?
That's one of the blankets that was located inside the suitcase.
And did you eventually make reference to these blankets and the pillow and things like that to the members of the Sheriff's Department in El Paso
Yes.
County? And was this evidence eventually transferred back to here, El Paso County?
Yes, sir, it was.
And go to 74 now, please. What do we see in People's Exhibit 74?
Also another blanket that was located inside the suitcase.
Would this be the other side of what we saw in People's Exhibit 7?
Sorry. Yes, you are correct. Yes, sir.
So it's one blanket, two sides.
Two
right?
sides, right, correct.
How about People's Exhibit 75?
This is the pillow that was found inside the suitcase.
We can see some of it.
And were you present when this pillow was x-rayed?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. What was located inside this pillow? Do you recall?
2 projectiles, 2 bullet fragments.
People's Exhibit 76. What do we see in People's Exhibit 76?
The other blanket that was found inside the suitcase.
And you know how Gannon's body was transferred to the coroner's office?
It was through their medical personnel and their vehicles and their equipment.
But the Gannon Stauch that you saw under the bridge was the same Gannon Stauch that was at autopsy?
Yes, sir.
Those are my questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Cross-examination, Mr. Tellini.
I'm good, sir. How are you?
Kind of look at this. So Pensacola is kind of right on the border of Florida and Alabama, correct?
No, sir.
Where's it at? Where is it? It's in the panhandle of Florida?
Mm-hmm. It's in the panhandle, but it's probably an hour and a half from the border. I don't
Oh,
know
okay.
how close you're talking about.
Okay, all right. And it's a beach community.
Yes, sir.
This bridge that the suitcase was found under, it's a bridge over what?
Where the suitcase was found, it's nothing but the bridge itself covers Escambia River Bridge.
And how big a bridge is that?
You estimate 3/4 of a mile.
Okay. And just estimate, how big is that, the Escambia River? How wide across?
Wide,
From one bank to the other?
200-300 yards, guesstimation.
And so there's dry area on each side, like bridge covers some dry area, then the river, dry area.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just looking at that, is that the biggest bridge in Pensacola?
No, sir.
There's a lot of bigger bridges there,
Yes,
aren't
sir.
there? Like there's looks like there's bridge 98, Highway 98.
Yes, there's the one on Highway 98.
What does
Thank
Highway
you so
98
much.
go over?
It's over the bay.
Over the bay. How long of a bridge is Highway 98?
I wouldn't have any idea.
A lot longer bridge though?
Yes, sir.
4 or 5 times longer?
It's probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles, maybe.
Okay. And that goes over the bay, like
Yes, sir.
this is the Gulf of Mexico and then goes into that bay, correct? How deep is that bay?
Depends on where you're at.
In the middle. Say if I was to throw something off the middle of that bridge, how deep would that bay be?
15 feet.
Okay.
15, 20 feet guesstimate,
How deep is the river?
probably 25, 30.
Okay. And then looks like another, what about Highway 10? How long is that bridge?
I-10 is probably the same 2-3 miles long.
Okay, and going over the same bay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what I'm getting at is there are much longer bridges over much bigger bodies of water other than that bridge located near there. You would
Oh,
agree
yes,
with that?
sir. Absolutely.
Okay. I also noticed, did you take DNA from anybody?
Did I take it?
Yes.
No,
Or do you
sir, I
know if
didn't.
DNA was taken?
It was taken. Yes, sir.
It was taken from Mr. Ponder and Mr. Goings?
I believe so. Swabs were taken from both of those gentlemen.
You know why?
Just to make sure that they wasn't the ones that was fooling around with the
Okay. And
suitcase.
well, and also it'd be so if DNA tests were run to figure out who may have put that person in that suitcase,
Correct.
that would be able to eliminate those two people.
Sure.
And so as part of a police procedure, you want to take DNA from if you're trying to zero in on one person, you'd want to take DNA from other people who could possibly contribute to that to be able to zero in on one person specifically.
Yes, sir.
Okay. No further questions.
Prosecution, redirect.
I want to talk about this Escambia River Bridge. You're quite familiar with that bridge?
Yes, sir.
You travel that quite frequently?
Yes, sir.
Any lights on that bridge?
No, sir.
Pretty dark at night?
It is.
And is there room, particularly where this suitcase was found, to park a vehicle?
There, both of the lanes are 2 lanes on each way. There's also like an emergency pull-off lane on the side of the bridge, so flat tires or whatever. That's the only place that you could pull over without getting ran over on that bridge.
And these other bridges that council alluded to, are they heavily traffic bridges?
Yes, sir, they are.
I-10,
Yes, sir.
is that a spot where you could park and dump a suitcase at the bridge?
It has the same pullover lanes as the rest of them do. Yes, sir.
But there might be more traffic on in the Escambia River Bridge?
It depends on time of year. The time of day, time of year.
What about 4 o'clock in the morning on February 4th, 2020?
Probably not a lot of traffic. I wouldn't guess.
Would there be any traffic on the Escambia River Bridge at that time?
Probably very minimal.
Those are my questions, Your Honor. Thanks.
Do any of the jurors have any questions for Detective Yoder? No. All right. Thank you, Detective. You may step down.
No, thank you.
Prosecution, call your next witness, please.
Your Honor, Nicholas Berklich.
Last name again?
Berklich.
Okay. Mr. Berkwood, if you would step forward and raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear affirm the testimony about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and have a seat in the witness stand. Please watch your step as you step into the stand.
Good
Hello, ma'am.
afternoon. Sir, where are you currently employed?
I'm currently employed with the El Paso County Sheriff's Office.
And generally, what's the nature of your role with El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I'm a major crimes detective.
And how long have you been employed with the Sheriff's Office?
A little over 18 years now.
And in January into 2020, what was the nature of your role with the Sheriff's Office?
At that time, I had just joined the major crimes unit, probably about 3-4 months prior.
And as it relates to the nature of your work on the case that you're here before today, was part of your role assisting in the collection of various items of evidence?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And in the collection of those various items of evidence, are you responsible for logging them in or processing them in some way?
Yes, once they get collected, we either put it into temporary storage at the evidence facility, or we go ahead and process it in, depending upon what else is happening.
And do you recall processing particular items of evidence as it relates to items from Gannon Stauch?
Yes, ma'am.
You're under permission to approach the witness with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 182 and 183.
Go ahead.
Yes, Leticia will say Quincy Brown through the suitcase with Gannon. Yeah.
How many what's been marked as People's Exhibits 182 and 183? Can you take a moment to familiarize yourself with them?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you generally recognize what they are?
From the description, yes.
Okay. And based on the description and the processing of how you process evidence, can you explain to the jury how a description is associated with an envelope, for example?
There's a program that we have that we use for processing the evidence in. You type in the name of the item and then a brief description of what it may be. Then it automatically generates a number for us.
Okay. And in conjunction with those particular items, People's Exhibits 182 and 183, were you part of the processing or collection or logging into evidence of those particular items?
Yes, I was.
And if you would, there are some gloves next to you and scissors.
Me too, Brenda.
I'll ask you to open up to start People's Exhibit 182, leave the item in the envelope so that you have an opportunity to look at it and identify it.
Leave it in the envelope?
Yes,
Okay.
for now.
I think his dad is all the way here.
And that was, you said 182?
Yes, sir. And now in looking in the envelope that's been marked as People's Exhibit 182, are you generally able to recognize the item inside as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you recognize it?
It's a toothbrush that was inside a holder that was brought to us.
Okay. And based on the last time you recall seeing it, is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it?
It appears to be the same, ma'am. I don't see anything that stands out.
Now you just held up the envelope. There's various colors of tape on the envelope. Does that indicate to you, or what does that indicate to you, I should say?
It tells the red tape is the tape that I put on it. This blue tape is tape that somebody else has opened the package for whatever reason and has resealed it.
At this time, Your Honor, the people have moved to admit People's Exhibit 182.
Defense? Exhibit 182 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Now, if you could take a moment to take out People's Exhibit 182 and show it to the jury.
Yes, NC, she does throw tantrums. We heard it earlier, right? Oh my word.
Do I need to take the cap off?
No, that's all right.
Okay.
You can put it back in the envelope. In terms of People's Exhibit 183, I will ask you to do the same procedure. If you want to switch out your gloves, you can do that as well if you'd like.
Switch mount?
Mhm.
Yes, Bring out the snark. Ooh, Eileen, those calls with Al
And while
were
you're
so
doing that, for
hectic.
People's Exhibit 183, does it appear to have the same type of colored tape as People's Exhibit 182 had?
The red tape, yes, but not the blue.
Okay. And is the red tape something that you placed there?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
All right. And if you would take a moment to open up People's Exhibit 183, look at it.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you generally recognize that?
Yes.
And would you say it's in the same or substantially same condition as when you last handled it?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for admission of People's Exhibit 183.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 183 will be admitted. Go ahead.
And if you would also take that item out and show it to the jury. Now, in conjunction with your collection and logging of this particular item of evidence, were you assisting other law enforcement officers that day?
Yes, ma'am.
And as the information was relayed to you, who do those particular items belong to? People's Exhibit 182 and 183.
I was told that they belong to Gannon Stauch.
In conjunction with your work on the case, you were also present at a residence as well. Is that right?
At where?
At a residence, a Gannon's residence.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was the address of that location?
I believe it was 6650 Mandan Drive. But
6627.
I know it was Mandan Drive.
Yes.
6627 sound about right?
We were at a lot of houses on that street.
Okay. While you were present on scene, you assisted other members of law enforcement, including the Metro Crime Lab, while on scene at that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And while you're present on scene, were you also assisting in the collection of items of evidence there?
Yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 186 through 190.
Go ahead.
One 186 through 190.
6627. Yeah, look at her, Jean. She's just sitting there like, it's,
Recognize People's Exhibits 186 through 190. Take a moment to look through them.
I'm copying her now. Sis. Thank you for being here, Loris, and everyone. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And do you generally recognize those exhibits?
Pardon me?
Do you generally recognize them?
Yes, ma'am.
And how do you recognize them?
They were articles, items that were pointed out to us by Mr. Stauch that were, he found in the dishwasher. They're scrub brushes, scissors. The brushes appeared to have some type of carpet material or something on it.
Oh, yes.
And are they fair and accurate representations of what you saw and observed that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admissions of People Exhibits 186 through 190.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibits 186 through 190 will be admitted.
And you're under permission to publish.
You may.
And if you will like, if you take a moment to look behind you, we have a pointer there if you want to use it. Fine. Perhaps.
No, it's in front of you. It's got the red handle on it.
Oh, thank you, sir. Having a rough time.
All right, now you mentioned that Mr. Stauch had identified for you and other law enforcement officers that day various items of evidence. Can you point out here in People's Exhibit 186 some of those items?
We had a brush here. This brush. Have the handle of a brush here and this brush, and I cannot see the scissors in this picture.
We'll move on to People's Exhibit 187. And here, that might be
You
a
guys,
better
she
look.
literally, I'm
These
just
are-
quickly putting this
These
out.
are close-ups
She literally
of the
cleaned the
last
carpets
photo.
and then put the brushes
brushes
and
that you
things
were
in the
explaining?
dishwasher.
Yes.
We read that together.
People's
It's on the
Exhibit
playlist on
188.
in reading the probable cause affidavit and that whole
And
document.
here, what are we seeing here?
This is what appeared to possibly be a strand of carpet or something that was on the brush.
People's Exhibit 189. And here,
Again, strand of whatever type of material that is. And then we have 2 pairs of scissors there.
190.
Those are just close-ups of the other brushes.
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness with what has been marked with People's Exhibits 190, 192, 193, and 194.
So 191 through 194.
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Good point, Christina.
Take a moment
Make it
to review People's Exhibits 191, 192, and 193 now.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you generally recognize those?
From the type description, yes.
Okay. Now you mentioned before that part of the processing includes creating labels with descriptions on them.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll start with People's Exhibit 191. What does that appear to be to you based on your handling of that item?
Pardon me, ma'am?
Based on your handling of that item, what does that appear to be to you?
A Brillo scrub brush.
And People's Exhibit 192.
That is the blue handle, blue and white scrub brush.
And People's Exhibit 193.
The scrub brush with possible hair and carpet fiber.
And you spoke previously about tape and tape that is used on each of those exhibits. The tape used that you personally placed there?
I did not package these. The detective that collected the items actually did the packaging of them.
And when you were present at the residence that day, you viewed each of these items as we see in the previous photos that were shown to you?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And based on the descriptions of People's Exhibits 191, 192, and 193, do those appear to be the similar type of items that were photographed that you went over with the jury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. People's Exhibit 191, for example, what particular item is that?
That is the Brillo scrub brush.
People's Exhibit 192, based on the description there, what is that?
That is the blue and white scrub brush.
And People's Exhibit 193, based on description, what is that?
The scrub brush with possible hair and carpet fiber.
And based on the nature of the packaging, were you present with other law enforcement officers when those items were packaged, for example?
I do not believe I was present when they packaged them, no.
But you were present for the collection of those items?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll ask you to cut open People's Exhibit 191.
Yes, Maurice.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you recognize what's inside of that bag, People's
Yes.
Exhibit 191?
Yes,
Is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it on the day it was collected?
it appears to be yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move to admit People's Exhibit 191.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Your Honor.
Exhibit 191 will be admitted.
I'll ask you to do the same with People's Exhibit 192.
With 192?
Yes.
Same, Jean. Stuffing a child in a suitcase. I just can't with this devil woman. Mm-hmm.
Do you recognize what's inside the bag marked as People's Exhibit 192?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you observed it being collected that day?
I do not recall seeing, it looks like there's writing on the handle. I do not recall seeing that when it was collected.
Aside from the writing being present now, otherwise, is it otherwise appear to be the same
Yes.
subject?
Yes,
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admissions of people, Exhibit 192.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
Exhibit 192 will be admitted.
And the same with 190.
MB, I think so too. I called it like 2 days ago, right? We're like, I think let's make a bet, you guys. I think she's going to at some point snap in court and maybe to put her insanity on display. What do you guys think?
yes, ma'am.
Does that appear to be something that you recognize as being collected that day?
Yes,
And does it appear to be in the same or substantially same condition as when you last saw it?
yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 193.
Mr. Cook, Exhibit 193 will be admitted.
Amy, that's in July, right?
Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
You may.
In addition to collection of various brushes that you've looked at, do you recognize Exhibit 194?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you recognize it?
It's marked as being a empty vinegar bottle that was collected out of the trash can.
And when you were present, did you see that particular item while you were present at that residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you also take a moment to cut into People's Exhibit 194?
Cora,
And
I
again,
don't-
do you
I don't
recognize
think
that?
so.
What's
Yes,
inside
ma'am.
the bag?
Yeah.
And is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed it?
It appears to be yes.
Your Honor, this time we would also move for the admission of People's Exhibit 194.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
Exhibit 194 will be admitted. Go ahead.
After collection of these various items that are tedious to open, but what is your role in handling or passing off these particular items to other members of law enforcement?
Typically, the detective that collects it will take it to the evidence facility. Sometimes depending upon if somebody else is going there, they'll hand the package off and that person will take it to the facility and put it in temporary storage. And then later on that day, next day, the detective that collected the items will go down and process the items they collected and put that into the facility.
And at that point, may they be available to other members of law enforcement for testing purposes, et cetera?
Would they be?
Yes.
They could be removed from, they could be signed out from evidence and there would be a chain of custody that is kept.
As part of this case, you were also present for the collection of other types of evidence and specifically swabs. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
And a permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 184 and 185.
You may, go ahead.
Shelley, this is day 3. There was opening statements 2 days after. It's day 3. Tomorrow we start with day 4.
Do you recognize People's Exhibit 184 and 185?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize People's Exhibit 184?
They were buccal swabs that were taken from Mr. Stauch and Ms. Stauch.
And just
Or Miss- Hyatt, I'm sorry.
specifically 184, what swabs are those identified as belonging to?
These are from Mr. Stauch,
And People's Exhibit 185.
are from Landon Hyatt.
And in terms of the collection of those swabs, were you present when those were collected?
Yes, I was.
And did you observe them being collected?
I actually took the swabs.
All right. And we see there appears to be some tape on there as well, those particular envelopes.
Yes, ma'am.
So as part of your processing of that, is that tape that you placed there?
The red tape is, yes.
And
No,
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I did not package these. I handed those off to, after putting them in the package, I handed those off to Deputy Montville, and she's actually the one that sealed the envelopes.
Now, in terms of, we mentioned some words that maybe not everyone is familiar with, but what is a buccal swab?
It's a DNA swab that's taken from the mouth, saliva. We just use a long Q-tip and rub it around the inside of your mouth, your cheeks, and just collect the saliva.
Okay. And what is in People's Exhibit 184 and 185, what specifically is that inside each of those envelopes?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
What is specifically in People's Exhibit 184 and 185?
It's a package that contains two of those Q-tips, and you run them both at the same time.
And as the packaging appears to you, is it in the same or substantially same condition as when you last viewed that?
I would have to open it up to see those packages, ma'am.
You can go ahead and do that, yeah.
Sure.
Can you guys where does it say that there's no trial tomorrow? Please send it to me on email, okay? And can you just tell me when the next one is? I'll be here with you guys. But right now, I didn't know that there's no trial tomorrow. So please send it to me if you can. Even just type it here in chat. I'm looking. So no Thursday court in this trial. Okay, but what about like Easter weekend? Does that affect it at all, or what? Is there still sound going on here? And see, I've never done a trial. Why is there no Thursday? Every Thursday, no trial. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That one does appear to be the same.
And just for the purposes of the record, are you specifically referring to People's Exhibit 184?
I'm sorry. Yes, I am.
All right, thank you.
Are they streaming on Friday, you guys?
And yes, on 185, they appear to be the same.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibits 184 and 185.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
exhibits 184 and 85 will be admitted.
Maurice.
In addition to the collection of those buccal swabs, were you also called to respond to the residents for the collection of a particular item that belonged to Gannon, a switch? Does that sound familiar?
Yes, it does.
Do you recall exactly when you responded that day?
I believe it was the morning of February 29th, 2020.
And who did you receive particular items from? Who provided them to you?
Mr. Stauch.
And did he indicate, well, let's take a step back. Your Honor, permission to approach the witness with what has been marked as People's Exhibits 195, 196, 712.
Go ahead.
So it seems like we'll all be together again for the trial on Tuesday. But don't worry, we've got lots of other crimes to talk about in between. We're always busy on this channel.
People's Exhibits 195 and 196. I know it's getting packed up here. I'm gonna set this one right here for you.
Yes, ma'am.
That's blocking the camera. You recognize People's Exhibit 195 and 196?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How do you recognize them?
There are photos of the case and the stitch, the switch. I believe it's a Nintendo game.
And are those photographs very an accurate representation of what you saw that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibits 195 and 196. Thank you.
Mr. Cook,
No objection, Judge.
exhibit 195 and 196 will be admitted.
And Your Honor, permission to publish.
You may.
So behind you, we have People's Exhibit 195. You mentioned a switch. What are we looking at specifically here in People's Exhibit 195?
This is the case the carrying case.
Okay. And in People's Exhibit 196?
And that's the actual switch inside the case.
And now before you is People's Exhibit 712, I believe.
Yes.
Can you take a moment to familiarize yourself with that and look at it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize it?
It's the description that was typed up for the item that was collected.
And similar to the other items, What was your involvement in the processing of this particular item?
This particular item, I was called by my sergeant to go out and collect. So I went out there that day and collected this, and then I took it to evidence myself and packaged it.
And in terms of the packaging process, did you also create the label for this particular item?
Yes, I did.
And does the description also indicate to you what it is?
Yes, it does.
And we see some red tape that is on People's Exhibit 712. Is that tape placed by you?
The red tape up here is placed by me. I do not recognize the tape down below.
Okay. And I will ask you to do the same thing, which is, can you please cut into and look at and inspect what is inside the bag?
Very interesting, you guys. Yes. Thank you, Alicia. And yes, you can. Thank you
Yes,
so
ma'am.
much.
Great. And in looking inside the bag, would you say that's in the same or substantially same condition as when you last handled and packaged that item?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 712.
Mr. Cook, Exhibit 712 will be admitted. Go ahead.
The general scope of your role in this case, in addition to collecting various items of evidence, was that more or less the scope of what you did in this case?
Yes, I was basically a support detective. If there were leads that needed to be handed out and you're available, you get a lead and you go work that for the lead detective.
Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Hi, Detective. How are you?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just a few questions for you. Did you actually watch the swabbing of the cheeks of Gannon's mother and father?
I actually did them, sir.
You did the swabbing?
Yes.
Okay, and did you have gloves on?
Yes, I did.
Did you have the packet or the kit that is used during the collection of these?
As I said, it's just the one package with the two Q-tips in it. So yes, I did have those with me.
Okay. Who else was in the room with you when who else was in the room with you when you were doing Landon?
I do not recall anybody being in there. It may have been Detective Montville, but I don't recall, sir.
Okay. And was anybody else in the room with you when you did Mr. Stauch, Al Stauch?
Again, I don't recall if anybody was in there with me.
Okay. And when you're collecting the cheek swabs, I mean, you're not necessarily collecting the saliva, you're collecting the cheek cells, the epithelial cells that are shed in the cheek.
Pretty much whatever the Q-tip picks up is what's being collected.
Okay. Did anybody swab Harley Hunt, who's been identified as Letecia Stauch's daughter?
I do not know the answer to that question.
Okay. So it could have been done, you just don't know
Correct.
whether this was done or not.
Correct.
Okay. You indicated that you collected a few other items, took some photos, got a Nintendo Switch, and that was about it in this case, what you've talked to here.
Yes, sir.
You did also, on the 28th of January, conduct an interview with Landon Hyatt, who was Gannon's mother.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Where did that take place, that interview?
That took place at my office, the sheriff's office, I should say.
Right across the street
second,
from
right
the
across the
courthouse?
street,
Okay.
second floor in one of the interview rooms, which is audio video recorded.
Okay. How long did that interview last?
I do not know that, sir.
Okay. Was it recorded?
Yes, it was.
Audio tape, videotape, everything?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I have. Thanks, Detective.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Gratiano, redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor.
Do any of the jurors have any questions? Nope. All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Thank you, sir.
I know, right, Ryan? Are you kidding me? Did you check your cable
Prosecution, call your
connections?
next witness, please.
Literally on the elevator, Your Honor, on his way here.
Okay.
So
Well, let's actually take about let's do a stand and stretch, a seventh inning stretch kind of thing while we're waiting for the next witness. That's a good idea.
A 7th inning stretch. Look at it, look at it.
Ms. Gratiano, time to clean the witness stand off.
Sorry, Your Honor.
I said it'll give you some time to clear the witness stand off.
That's what I figured.
Yes, Angel Ray. In this state, jurors can ask questions. Oh, yes. Ronna, she is there. Look at her. And she's always like, having her say in between here. My gosh. Cora Brown, you say, thank you for covering this trial. Justice for Gannon. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. So as we just found out, you see, it's interesting what I absorb. I've got a whole notebook full of things here, but I did not write down that this this trial is not streamed on Thursdays. That I did not write down. Okay, but okay, the trial is not streamed on Thursdays. The judge handles other cases on Thursdays, what you guys are telling me in the chat. And so this weekend is also Easter. So Friday and Monday are public holidays, right? So what I'm understanding from the chat, all the smart grizzlies here, the next day that we'll be streaming this trial will start on Tuesday. So it'll be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. See, it's not so bad. We could do this. Thank you so much. I also wanted to show you. Let me quickly go to my Twitter time. Judge Newman said a stretch break, right? The stretch break here. Yeah. That's a first inning stretch. Oh, my word. Okay. So welcome to Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K. I am South African living in the Netherlands. And this is the very first time on my channel where I'm streaming an entire trial. I don't usually stream trials. I don't know. I feel like, but I don't know. I'm like, I just don't sit still for very long, but I can do this because I'm here busy with you guys. So thank you so much for being here. It's a new era here on Grizzly True Crime. Thank you for encouraging me as well. Let me quickly show you what I posted. Where is it? I made a little post earlier today. I just retweeted so many things. I can't find it. There we go. There, that's what I made today. The Ring featuring Letecia. She really looks like that thing from The Ring. Right? We get a bit snarky here and there. We got a little snarky break now. They said it's a 7th inning stretch. Okay, well, we're snarking it up. The Ring featuring Letecia. Okay. So we got that. And then when they were mentioning earlier the Candlewood Suites, which is, I think, where she was staying with her daughter when she had traveled with the suitcase, okay, all the way to Florida, from Colorado to Florida, to discard of Gannon's body in the suitcase at that Escambia River Bridge. I just looked up where that is, and they say North Cross Lane, Pensacola, Florida. So this is where Letecia would have stayed at the time. Probably with a bag in the in the car, I would assume. What a long drive with that bag in the car. I don't know, man. So I just wanted to show you this as well. Julie says, wow, first stream. This is the first time I'm ever streaming a trial. With Chandler Halderson's trial, I broke down the whole thing, like summaries and the whole lot, right? And then other trials, I usually do trial prep and then opening statements. And then when the verdict is read and sentencing, all that, then we do a recap. If you didn't see my murder documentary styled video, that is available to all Grizzly members, and it's also on Patreon. I'd recommend Patreon because it's an uninterrupted view of that I created. So that's what we usually do. But now this is the first time, because you guys encouraged me so much. A lot of you bought me coffees and you sent PayPals and emails and everything, like, please do this trial. Let us be together. And today, while I was watching on Law and Crime Network, there were so many Grizzlies there. Someone says I'm muted. There were so many Grizzlies there that I was like, yeah, let's talk here together. So thank you for being here as we go. We've seen all these pictures now, right? So that's where she would have been staying. Okay. JL says, even if this case is so much tragic, the court seems so much more professional than oh my word, the Peltro trial. I watched some of that as well. And Annette says, gee, if anyone can do this, you can. Thank you. First, live stream, music. Yes. Vicky says, I love that the UK calls them bank holidays, right? I'm just checking. I'm not muted, you guys, right? You can hear me. Yeah. Stretch time, break time. Evil step monstering. Yes. Thank you so much, Sasha. You say Patreon is the best. I shared some pictures there yesterday as well. Caken off, you guys. Go check it out. So, Isagul, thank you so much. Sorry if I missed. What's the reason of her not sitting together with her attorneys? Was she the one who attacked the former lawyer? No. Apparently, she was the one who attacked the former lawyer. When I think of attacking lawyer, Taylor Shea business is the only thing that fills my mind. But apparently, at one of the hearings, yes, she had done that. And for some reason, I can't remember that. I can find that for us. And why is she not sitting together with her attorneys? I mean, maybe that's why, but I don't like it either. I think we're all upset by that. Thank you for the super sticker as well. Artemis says, gee, your channel is the best on YouTube. Thank you so much. Julie says, I know I've been following for 1.5 years. You're an OG, an original Grizzly. You've been here from day one. And never, ever have I streamed a trial. So yes, I'm out of my comfort zone, but I'm here with you guys, and that's great. Okay. So you could listen to old map time music during breaks. But you guys are wanting like music. I don't know, man. I'm going to have to find some of that. What do I even have on here? I just want to see. I think it's just like, what's this one? Yeah, that's just going to go round and round. Sorry, I'm just trying a few things. We'll find something, okay? I just wanted to see what I do have. What's this one? Always like that one. But they're a little bit sad, I find. Yeah. We'll just be here. Okay. So Artemis says they're keeping her away from attorneys because she's vicious. Let me quickly see if I can find that. Put it like this for now. And I'll be wearing my court blazer every day here on Grizzly to Crime whenever it's court time. I put my blazer on. Okay, let's say Letecia Stauch, tax attorney. Did you guys see Taylor Shea Business attack her attorney? Oh my word, that was quite something. I'm looking at it. If you've got it on, if you can send me the link, please do. Because that I did not see. I've never seen that. Marie says the song to 50 Shades of Grey. Yes. Copper says it's much nicer listening to trials with the Grizzlies and much less work for G. It is so nice to be able to be here together as we watch these trials, because I'm watching it anyway, you know? I'm watching and taking notes anyway. So I think we all get a bit of FOMO, you know, the fear of missing out of each other. We like to be here together. So yes. Oh, you love the music? Okay, hold on one second. Yes, okay. So I wonder if I can live. We're just waiting for that other witness who's, they say, literally in the elevator. Isn't it funny? It's like when it's like, on my way. Are you though? Are you though, sir? Just want to see if I can save that. Oh, okay. No, we can't do that. Never mind. Okay, let's play this one a bit. There we go. There's no sign in the courtroom right now. Rob says, I wouldn't want to get in a scuffle with Shape Business. I know, I've never heard of that. I've heard of Shape Business doing it. And maybe, are people confusing that all? If you have proof of Letecia Stauch ever attacking an attorney, let me know.
Good
Okay, well-
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Where are you currently employed?
The El Paso County Sheriff's Office
And how long have you been with El Paso County Sheriff's Office?
since 2006.
And generally, can you explain for the jury what your role is at the Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I'm a supervisor for the Patrol Division.
And in January of 2020, what was your role then?
I was a patrol deputy.
And as a patrol deputy, can you explain what some of your responsibilities are? What kind of things that you handle on a day-to-day basis?
Yes, responding to calls for service, investigating patrol-related crimes, interdicting criminal activity, traffic enforcement.
Okay. And on January 27th of 2020, were you on duty that day?
Yes,
Did you receive a call for service related to this case?
yes.
Approximately what time did you receive a call for service, or what time that call for service came through?
I responded at 10:09 p.m.
Okay. Can you explain a triage process that may occur for calls of service? How does that work?
Well, calls for service are based on basically a priority status, as if somebody is in danger or something like that. So those calls take higher priority than calls where somebody's not in danger, what we would call a cold call. So runaways are typically given a non-emergent status.
You mentioned runaways. So what was the specific nature of the call for service that you responded to on January 27th of 2020?
The call I responded to was a runaway juvenile,
Okay. And what location did you respond to for that call?
6627 Mandan Drive.
Okay. And when you arrived at that location, did you respond with any other law enforcement officers?
Yes.
Who did you respond with?
When I got on scene, Deputy Parker and Deputy Donahue were on scene already.
And when you responded to the location, who did you initially make contact with?
Deputy Parker.
Okay. Based on your contact with Deputy Parker, how did you approach the residents? Who did you contact?
I asked Deputy Parker if the residence had been searched to see if the juvenile was hiding, and he indicated it had not.
Okay. When you respond and you're on duty, is there any way that you have to document or record your activities?
Yes, I was equipped with a body-worn camera.
Okay. And can you point out for the jury where that body-worn camera is?
Yes, it's mounted right here on my chest.
Can you explain for the jury how that body-worn camera, how it works?
It's activated with a Bluetooth remote system where I press a button and it starts recording. So when I got on scene that day, I started recording pretty much when I got on scene. And then it's deactivated by the same button to turn it off, basically.
Okay. And in terms of audio and visual, what does it record?
It records both audio and visual. However, it's mounted securely on the chest, so it only sees forward. So if my head or something turns, it won't see that. My body actually has to turn for the camera to see something.
Okay. And as it relates to entering the residence, what was your primary responsibility when you arrived on scene?
So
for that?
I was a secondary responder. So the two primary deputies were conducting an interview on scene. So after I determined that the residence had not been searched for the juvenile, I asked Deputy Parker. After I asked Deputy Parker got consent to search the residence. So I began to search the residence for the juvenile.
Okay. And to be clear, the consent to search the residence was for what in particular?
To find a hiding child.
Okay.
basically.
When you arrived at that location that day, was your body-worn camera working?
Yes, it was.
Was operational?
Yes,
Did you have an opportunity to review that body-worn camera?
yes.
Your Honor, permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibit 210.
You may, go ahead.
Do you recognize what I'm handing you, People's Exhibit 210?
Yes, that's a disc with my initials containing my body worn camera footage.
Okay. And did you not have an opportunity to review the contents of that disc?
I did.
Okay. And is it a fair and accurate depiction of your body worn camera when you responded on scene that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time would move for the admission of People's Exhibit 210.
Defense? Exhibit 210 will be admitted. Go ahead.
Your Honor, approach.
Sorry? Oh, yes, go ahead.
And Your Honor, permission to publish as well?
May.
I took the covers that he was laying down, like had, and I just like threw it. I took the covers that he was laying down, like had, and I just like threw it on there because I got my daughter out and the dog's out. She was working, and it was something. I know, it was something that we were just like.
Did he take his bike?
No.
Okay, because somebody saw a little kid on a bike. They posted it, but I didn't know if he brought it.
Well, he did, unless he took it sooner and brought it back because Lena ends up getting the bike.
Okay.
And rides the bike because hers had broke. When she ran into him, I say ran into him as in not physically, but she somehow got his bike because hers wouldn't work. So he could have at
So
one
they were
point.
here.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go pick him up from
Right.
dinner.
Blue
And he never
black.
called. They thought he was at his
Black.
friend's house. He was like,
Yeah.
he just started sleeping. So
We
they
had
were gonna pick
him
him up down
on
the road.
one.
And he was never there.
There's
and he never
a
went to his
picture
friend's
someone
house.
sent he was on
Okay.
and he was making the switch.
Do you mind if my
So
partner
it's-
looks around the house real quick?
Yeah, yeah.
Because kids, they hide. and-
Thank you.
They get hide for hours.
Yeah, no, we've already checked the camp, like the,
Is there any other kids here?
yeah, there's kids here. I say kids. There's my sister, 2 dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, he was out there for big run and blah, blah, blah.
So, he's telling me a timeline. I know you said that you were already going to get 6.
Yeah, so it was.
Look, you go back here, you went down there.
Okay, so. Bring it here. Side, you know, like all those things, so.
Pretty accurate. So, you did that, they didn't do that because you said his stomach was hurting. What happened?
Said the line. He said he had already talked to my husband about being on conviction, so he said he was going to his friend's house. So
What time did you left at 3:30?
I don't know the exact time because I was correcting his carpet thing downstairs.
So he.
And he's free, like, my husband's like very more free than I am with the situation. I kind of always like, who's actually going through a unit? I remember that's how I was with her. But like, he's like, oh, they can ride bikes, everyone together type thing. So, yeah, so all the time they go and ride and meet. That's how we do. Think did I bring my thing in here? I think it might be in there. Can you get her? Sir, I think it might be in my car, so whenever you're.
What might be in your car?
He wants my ID.
Oh, okay. Was this the car you guys had with you today?
You what?
Was this the car you guys had with you today?
What do you mean with me today?
I mean, did you drive this car today?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't drive that car today.
You did not drive this car. Okay, all right. Has he ever hit in anything like this before?
No, this is.
Please, no, Elise.
Oh, okay. So I'm like, okay.
Tomorrow, Hilariot. Tomorrow, this is happening. Only she knows, Amanda.
Initial or name for out of states. Is there anybody down here?
The other dog. Yeah, that's no.
No.
We know what is down there.
Okay.
It's my maiden name. So part of it, if they are one.
In case you guys missed it, this is Letecia sitting here. Here's her attorneys. Here she is. And we can only see a little bit of this TV here. Backyard garden. I don't know if she would do that. What do you guys think? I don't think so. Isagul says, I watch all these anyways, but it's more fun to see comments from other people living in another world. Summary, I support watching anything with people having similar interests and who are not physically present with me. Right? We're all here together watching this. Thank you so much. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, Letecia.
Did you put mine clear valid?
Sorry, well, it's gonna be 101-275370, South Carolina.
Good point. Literally, Penny, none of us can. This is how the court cameras are. Unfortunately, we can't see what they're watching. Nice, Richard. Yeah, I'll probably be doing something with you guys. I mean, I'll probably do something with you guys. We'll have a member stream tomorrow.
That something down there, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I show him about, so I just didn't want to step on the cutter, the box thing. I think I still had down there. Okay, because you weren't in here in the beginning, right? I thought I didn't know if I had that box cutter and all that stuff in there, because I told him about, he dropped a candle last night.
Oh, okay.
And I thought I must have picked it up. I was just making sure I didn't want you to be like, oh, there's a box cutter. But yeah, I had to cut this. And I told them I wasn't even gonna tell Dad. And I was gonna figure out a way to put this in there from the situation, but.
At least you
it's
got a
not
carpet.
like that.
Yeah,
Right, I just took it and like covered up with the carpet and stuff like that, but.
Does he have any friends around here?
There is let me look on this thing. He did have this one, like boat thing.
Where you're supposed to be at down the road.
But they checked that already?
They went over there and talked to him, and they're like, no, we hadn't seen him at all.
Okay.
He did have this like,
And you talked to parents, right? You didn't talk to.
yeah, Connor's mom came over, who is a friend he hangs out with all the time. So they come over, the people here, the friends, they were just the ones that were the door with the bike.
Okay.
They came over, a bunch of people came over. Yeah, so
Any friends?
he did have like a little book that had names on it, but I don't know, see it like anywhere specifically, because like his wallet, he's not like I teach 5th grade, and like, you got your like really, really mature kind of boys, but then waiting, he forgets to like bring this or bring that or bring this or bring that,
Still good.
Yeah.
So no clothes are missing or nothing?
No, we actually lay out all the clothes all the time, like for, like every day at school, we lay out clothes, we do whatever.
Is
And
his jacket gone?
he had he has several jackets. Like it depends on, I'm very like fashion. So like it just depends on jackets. Like he might have this black one with this, or there's a blue one with this. And,
So he had a jacket.
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Several jackets. Like when you see the kid has, like tons and tons of clothes, and he just, He has all that stuff, so. And he took like none of this. Like these are his favorites. All of these things. Yeah.
All right, he's gonna grab some more questions and,
Okay.
How long have you guys lived here?
Maybe like a year and something now. Yeah.
And you have talked to all of his friends' parents in the area?
I'm not the person that talks to the friends. I don't have numbers. I don't say yes. I don't say no. My husband tells them yes or no. So he has all the numbers.
So there could be some friends that you don't. know
Right.
that you could
Cause
get-
I don't know the people like that. And a lot of the time that I was here, I had still had a job on the East Coast.
Mhm.
So I had to fly back and forth for a lot. So I didn't really meet a lot of people, like my husband did. And he's like, always want to be the one to talk to everybody about it. And so,
Well, how about your husband? Does he talk to these people?
yeah, he's been on the phone with a bunch of them in Oklahoma, Fort Steele right now.
Is there anybody he hasn't been able to get a hold of?
No, he said he's talked to everyone that he knows of. The only concern we had is he was talking about the friend with the older sibling,
Mhm.
and we don't know who that one is. That's the one we don't know
Do you guys have a name for that? person?
because we don't know who that person is. We've never heard him say like specific name. And my husband said when he talked to him today that there was no like specific name for. But he didn't give him a name. He just told him no. So
and he took his game console deal.
yeah, they have a couple of different consoles.
And one of them's gone.
Switch light. They have a 2DS, a 3DS. One of them is gone. It was in like a bluish black. Wait, no, that one might be in red. I don't remember. I just know in the video you can see that, or the picture that the lady had, you can see like he's got something right here and it's like far down.
Which pictures?
So some lady online had noticed it, like messaged us and had noticed that was him or the description. And she was like, was that him? And I was like, yes.
Where was that picture taken?
No, I honestly have about 150 Facebook messages that I haven't answered people on because you guys showed
Was it local? I mean, was it in the?
Yes,
North
in
Ranch?
Lorson Ranch. Someone put it on the Lorson Ranch page. And so a lot of people just kept sending messages, information. First, someone said they saw him get in a white SUV. Then someone said they caught it on their camera. They were all supposed to be sending this to me. But as I was talking to all these people on Facebook, because my husband gave the neighbor permission to post it, you guys came and I kept having alerts where so now we're gonna like, Huh? Okay. No. Yeah.
Okay, I know you probably gave some of this information to dispatch already, but can you give us a description of him from? top to
Yeah, so,
bottom? Hair color, eye color, any art?
Yeah, so brown, very pale, like whitish color skin.
I guess he's at this house that they don't.
And then
And the parents may not know.
and then
Well, they said that
410.
there was a weird text that Dad got about something about
90.
bath salts and hey, if you
And then I
if
sent
I
you that
can get some
picture.
bath salts, do we have any bath salts? And my friend will let me play Sonic or something at their house.
He sent that to his dad.
Yeah, I got it. And then Mom goes through everything, finds a let's say this Parker.
Thanks, Angela.
Yeah. I know that.
Yes,
Yes.
No, we're still getting the runaway report right now.
Harley. Yeah. Did you get it? Who was it?
Okay, I appreciate it.
I believe so.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just didn't want any of the
There's-
people, neighbors popping in. Yeah. So he would have been-
What clothes was his wearing?
blue jacket, blue jeans. That's what me and my husband absolutely think, and we think we think that, and we've calmed our stress level down after our 4-hour week.
Like a thick, heavy winter jacket, a sweatshirt, windbreaker.
No, like the ones I was showing you guys in there, kind of like a little windbreaker type.
Okay, good to know.
Is there anything distinguishing?
Okay, perfect, yeah.
Does he wear?
I'm mid, so I'll be on the line.
They asked me about tattoos and earrings and all that.
Like I'm
stuff.
gonna
There
end
was
up,
nothing.
I'm gonna end up asking a whole lot of the same questions that dispatch asks.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you hear anything from the school, let us know, please. All right. Oh, but.
Okay.
Yeah, we already talked to a bunch of people at school.
Yeah, they used to have security.
Because there was a game or something tonight, and so that was like one of the things we were thinking. If I guess they went to like the basketball game or something. But
He said there was, yeah, he said there was Parks and Rec going on, so.
Smith.
Yeah. What?
It was the off duty.
no,
Oh, okay.
he said somebody in the neighborhood or something.
Does he have a dentist he goes to?
If you guys want to call my husband.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We'll follow up because
I
you might have a little bit more information. Yeah.
I don't do a lot of the,
Okay.
he does all that.
How long's he been over there stationed?
He's not, he's stationed here, he's just at Captain Career Course.
Okay.
So they go to a dentist, I think it's like Fountain Dentist maybe,
All right. We can-
everything else is on base.
We'll give him a
'cause
call.
it's- Yeah,
Oh, what's his name?
Al, A-L, Stauch, S-T-A-U-C-H,
Phone number?
843 478
We're
6714.
valid protection orders. There's a phone number for the RO on your screen too.
Is that right?
Yes.
Are we back on 3?
I'm on 3.
They call it code.
We'll give him a call,
Okay.
get some more information.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the medical, dental, like he'll know like all that stuff because he takes them on base.
All right. Well, we'll go give him a call in the car real quick and see if we can get any information. Then
Okay.
If not, we'll come back and, or we'll give you a case number. For
Okay.
the runaway and everything. Okay. All right. Thanks.
My dog's down here now, David.
I didn't see him.
Okay. You know about lectures, you have gas and lectures.
Any choice in gathering any vote?
It's like bad.
Deputy, in terms of demeanor of the female that we see present in the video, based on the nature of calls for service that you receive, how would you describe that demeanor?
Fairly normal.
Okay. Have you responded on scene to other reports of runaways?
Yes.
How would you describe the demeanor?
Relevant, Your Honor.
Overruled.
How would you describe the demeanor based on your training and experience in responding to calls for service related to runaways? The comparison of the female's demeanor in this particular video.
I would say similar to other calls that I responded to for runaways.
Okay. In the sense that their demeanors are calm?
Yes, she appeared calm. She was able to answer questions intelligently.
And how did the female present on scene with you identify herself?
I believe she identified herself to Deputy Parker and Deputy Donahue.
Okay. Do you see the female that was present on the video that we just watched? And while you're present searching the house, do you see her today in court?
Yes.
Is she the same female that you see in the video that directed to you throughout the house?
Yes.
Can you describe her by where she's seated in the courtroom?
She's sitting at the end of the defense table wearing a brown colored shirt.
Your Honor, at this time, may the record reflect that Deputy Yunkin has identified the defendant?
The record will so reflect. Go ahead.
In terms of while you were present on scene, did the defendant identify by any other names or any other aliases, things like that?
I don't recall her identifying herself as another name.
While you were present on scene, you described her demeanor as calm. At any point, Did that demeanor change?
Not that I observed.
And to be clear, the time that you arrived on scene was what time?
10:09 p.m.
Okay. And as an approximation, how many hours had passed between the call for service as it came in?
I believe the original call for service came in around 7 p.m.
Okay. Now, as we watch your body worn camera, we hear buzzing. What is that buzzing on the video that we're hearing?
So when the camera's activated, it vibrates to let me know that it's on. For two reasons. One, in case there's an accidental activation, I know that it's operating. Or two, to just let me know that it's working. So sometimes when you press the button, technology fails. So it's just letting you know that it's operational.
And throughout the body worn camera that we watched, we hear the buzzing. And is that to indicate to you that it is still on, it is still recording?
Yes.
Great. Now, as you went through the residence, did you observe any men that were not law enforcement officers present in the house?
No, just law enforcement.
Guardo? Any
And as you
guardo?
were searching through the house, based on the various doors you opened and areas that you looked in, would you have seen a strange man, an unfamiliar man in the house?
I believe so, based on all the areas that I searched.
Okay. And to be clear, based on the call for service that you received, you were looking for a child, is that correct?
Yes, in cases where children are this young and they come in as runaways, sometimes they're hiding in the house because they get in trouble or something like that. So they hide, especially on that night because it was quite cold. So he may not be outside walking around somewhere. He might just be hiding in the house. So that's why we check that stuff.
And when you were present, you were also in the basement area. There appeared to be a storage room, which you paused in.
Yes.
Okay. While we see on the video you looking and pausing in a storage room, did you move any of the boxes?
I believe I moved like a pillow and like a chair and some of that around, but there was a big pile of boxes in the middle and I didn't shuffle through a bunch of those. No.
Okay. And while you were present on scene, did you personally observe any law enforcement officers moving those boxes?
I did not.
Your Honor, permission to approach with what has been marked as People's Exhibit 310 through 315.
May, and if you could find a reasonable breaking point in the next 10 minutes or 5 minutes or so, please. I'm sorry.
Yes, Your Honor. Deputy, can you take a moment to familiarize yourself with People's Exhibit 310 through 315? Do you generally recognize those?
Yeah, they appear to be still shots from my body worn camera footage.
And for a particular area of the house?
The storage room.
And are they fair and accurate depiction of your body worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, we would move for the admission of People's Exhibits 310 through 315.
Mr. Cook,
No objection.
exhibits 310 to 315 will be admitted.
And Your Honor, permission to publish?
You may.
Deputy, behind you, we have People's Exhibit 310. What are we seeing here in your still shot?
Picture of the storage room, some boxes and containers.
Okay. In People's Exhibit 311, I guess that's a clearer shot of that.
Yes.
Okay. 312.
Farther back.
Okay. And to be clear, the boxes that we were seeing on the right side of the exhibit, did you move those?
I did not sort through those, no.
Okay. 313. Would this just be to the left of People's Exhibit 312? Kind of
Yeah.
facing a different way?
Yes.
People's Exhibit 314. Can you orient us here for People's Exhibit 314?
Yeah, that is the pile of boxes kind of in the center of the room.
Okay. And People's Exhibit 315.
That appears to be a storage container by the door.
Okay. And thank you. Deputy, in terms of while you're searching through the residence, at any point, did the defendant direct you where to search?
No,
Did she point out any particular areas that would be of interest to you?
no,
Okay. We see that when you're in the storage area, you paused. You appeared to look in, I don't know if you would describe it as a crawl space, or how would you describe it in the storage room?
there's kind of a void under the stairs.
Okay. Did you see anything there?
No,
In terms of while you were present on scene, based on your training experience, did the defendant appear to have a pervasive mental disease or defect based on your observations that day?
no,
And while you searched through various areas of the house, in the top floor and in the basement, at any point, did you see any shell casings?
I did not find any shell casings.
And if you had seen them, would you have identified them and collected them?
Definitely would have identified them, and then we probably would have approached the investigation a little differently.
And throughout your search of the residence on scene, was there any obvious signs of a struggle?
No,
Did you see any blood?
no,
If you had seen blood, would you have taken additional steps?
yes.
Brenda will pass a witness.
All right, I think we'll take our break.
I'm gonna make this real easy on the
Okay,
deputy. I don't have any questions.
okay. Do any of the jurors have any questions for Sergeant Duncan? Looks like we might have one. So, Ms. Graziano, just pass that forward and put it on the bar in front. And Ms. Graziano will recover or retrieve it. Oh, another one coming.
We get a close up of the defense attorney there. Yes, Julie, this trial is scheduled to last 8 weeks. So it's only just started this week. And there's no trial streaming on a Thursday. And then Friday and Monday, it's, Easter weekend. So I think the next time that this trial is happening is on Tuesday. We'll be here for it. So it's probably next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that will be week 2. And there's still at least 6 weeks left. Well, 4 to 6 weeks, because they initially said 6 to 8 weeks. So we'll see. And yeah, it's the first time here at Grizzly True Crime that we are streaming a full trial. So thank you for being here. If you aren't yet subscribed, please subscribe, hit the bell, and come and join us over here as we chat happenings in this trial and watch it together. So they were going to take a little break, and then the defense was going to ask questions as well. But then the defense attorney said, I'm going to make it real easy for you. I don't have any questions. So now they've just, they're asking if the jury has any questions, because in this state, the jury can also ask questions. And they should be wrapping up for the day soon, right? Because it's 5 o'clock there. Yes, Kelsey, isn't it so terrible? And to
Sergeant
think that she's so
Youngkin,
calm.
do you know who would have been the first person to describe the missing juvenile as a runaway?
Stand by.
I believe it would have been Letecia Stauch, because she made the initial call to our dispatch center.
When you were searching the home, particularly Gannon's bedroom, did you notice any unusual scents or smells when searching under the beds?
I did not. I just looked under there to see if a child was hiding under there, but I did not detect any strange odors.
Did you see any large suitcases?
Yes, based on the body worn camera footage, it appears that there are some suitcases in those shots.
I think what they were asking for specifically was a large suitcase.
Oh, during my initial response, when I was looking through there, I don't actually recall if I saw a suitcase. Only watching the body worn camera footage later do I see this suitcase.
Okay. I will allow reasonable follow-up as to those questions only. Ms. Gratiano, do you have any? Mr. Cook?
Look at Letecia.
Uh, Following up with this unusual smells question that was asked about the Gannon's bedroom. Did you notice any like bleach smell, cleaning fluid smell, anything? You know, sometimes you can go into a house and it smells crisp and clean. Any smell like that, or was it just a regular smelling kids?
It
room?
smelled fairly normal. I didn't smell the strong odor of any cleaning fluid.
Okay.
All right. All right. Thank you, Sergeant. You can step down. Watch your step there.
Watch your step there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be taking our evening break, and actually it's a little bit extended because we won't see you until Friday. I need you to take everything out of your jury seats so that take that back to your jury, to the jury room, please. Don't discuss the case among yourselves. Don't discuss the case with anyone else. Don't do your own independent research about any aspect of this case. Avoid any stories that you might see and any opinions that someone might care to share with you about the issue. So with that, if we can have everyone back where they need to be so that they can be in place by 9 o'clock on Friday morning, we should be able to start right on time at that point. All right. Thank you.
Friday.
All rise
He
for the
says
jury,
Friday.
please.
He said Friday. So maybe they're not. Yeah, court Easter time. And thank you all for being here. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, he said Friday. I heard it with my own ears. Cool.
Thank you. You may all be seated. Record should reflect the jury has left the courtroom. You need to lock up whatever you need to lock up, and then I just need a corner of both tables cleared off so that somebody has a place to sit if they need to do that. You can leave everything else here, your binders, all of that stuff. That stuff's fine. It's going to be fine. But the attorneys that are coming in tomorrow, they need it. So long as they have some place to sit and put something in front of them, they're going to be fine. And then the rest of the stuff, you probably want to leave here and lock up. So we'll open up, we got the keys to the closet. Yeah, we'll open up the evidence closet here in just a moment for you all. Is there anything else that we need to address? Prosecution?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, court will be in recess then. Thank you.
Amber's like, Gisela, what will you be covering tomorrow then? Oh my word, what will we cover tomorrow? And just like that, I'm always amazed that it's just like, bam, just like the stream is just like done. Wow. Okay. The judge is like, just leave all your Grizzly notebooks where they are, everybody. I'll be like, I want to take my notebook with me. This is actually not a Grizzly notebook, but someone did send me this. Yes, so thank you so much for being there. I know we didn't stream the whole afternoon session today. I don't know if we would have made it through. No, we will. We're going to make it through. All of it. It was just those phone calls. Oh, my word. I was watching earlier with most of you who were there on Dawn Crime. And damn, like those phone calls between Letecia and Al and just her voice and her lies. Oh, that was a lot. That was a lot today. Needed some nap time. So that's it. Sarah says members live tomorrow and trial live Friday. Yes. I mean, I would love to do the members one now, but I don't have the energy right now. I want to be full energy for full snark, you see? So we'll do that tomorrow. We'll go over the opening statements one more time, just of the defense. We need to snark that one up. And then some of the phone calls, just a little bits of it. I don't think we'll survive all of it, but we'll go through that, seeing as we haven't gone through that together here. So that will be for a members only stream tomorrow. And what else? Then on Friday, the judge said back in court. So Friday it'll be. So I wonder if Monday, do they take Monday off or no? I guess we'll find out on Friday. I can't see like a court schedule. If you have it, send it to me, please. Really appreciate it. Yes. Okay. So Aaron is asking, do your ears ever ache from wearing headphones? A little bit, but not much, because these are very nice, soft Sony ones. So not so much. Did you guys collectively at that time got for me? So these are very nice. They don't really. hurt my ears. They just need to be charged, though. I need to charge them in between. So I guess I will see you guys tomorrow for a members only stream. I'll see you on Friday for day 4 of the Letecia Stauch trial. If you're still not too sure, you want to get caught up on the case, you want all the details and things like that, the playlist is linked for you in the description box. It should be. If it isn't, I will pin a comment for you. Let me just quickly get this for you. Here we go. I'm going to put it in the chat. Playlist is here. We went through the entire probable cause affidavit. I would recommend watching that, even if you watch that at 1.5 speed, because there's a lot of details in there that then help you, you know, listen to all the stuff with us here. Because, oh man, like Letecia's stories, we did map time of all the routes she drove, everything she did, you know, just all her Google searches, all of that. So check that out. And we read through the whole probable cause affidavit at least twice. So yes. All right. So thank you so much for me. Right now it's 1:07 a.m. It's now it's bedtime here in the Netherlands. My name is Grizzly K. I'm South African living in the Netherlands, and I appreciate all of you, an international audience over here. And let me know in the outro now where you're from. Where are you watching from? That could be quite cool as well. And slow mode isn't even on, so that's pretty cool. I will see you again soon and blazer it up on Friday. All right, everyone. And yes, justice for Gannon. You can also share blue hearts for Gannon in the comments as well. And please do share the stream so that others know that, damn, actually, I'm going to be streaming the trial, something I've never done before. So thank you so much, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.